flown down to see my brother in Florida and spent Christmas with him because his wife was touring in Asia. So I'm like, I'll go spend Christmas with my brother. It'll be great. We're walking down the street, and at this point, my lung function was like maybe 70. It had gone up from exercise, but I still had like the CF cough and the CF lungs, right? So we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden we start laughing, and I take a deep breath, like, and I let it out, and I'm like, dude, I think I'm on this stuff. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, something really crazy is happening right now where I don't have any mucus in my lungs, and that has not happened since I was in like first or second grade. And he's like, cool. I'm like, no, this is crazy. This is only 4 days, and I feel this good in 4 days. So I get back, and I go to my my study appointment, and we do PFTs, and it's like 82 or 86 or 88. I can't remember what happened first. And I was like, oh, the 80s. I haven't seen you ever. This is cool. And then you go to like CF clinic, and you got to do a sputum culture, and I try to cough, and I'm like, I don't have anything to cough up. So for the first year and a half on this clinical trial, I didn't cough like once in the year and a half, like legit cough. So if I did get a cold, it like barely turned into a cough. And the cough was like, you know, people who kind of fake, like they act like they want to have CF, so they'll cough. I felt like that. I don't know if there are people like that, but I just picture myself as a poser. I just felt crazy. My energy went through the roof, which can't get much higher. And I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I finally read up about this drug, and I'm like, oh, it kind of affects my CFTR protein. I'm like, that's cool. And my G551D, whatever that is. Because here's the deal. Now you guys meet your parents, and you're like, what's your kid's mutation? And I'm like, people started asking me that a couple years ago. I'm like, you didn't even buy me a drink first. You cannot ask me that question. Because CF is, in my generation, in my era, it's cystic fibrosis. And we knew about the Delta F508, now whatever it's called, Delta, whatever, because that's like the only gene that we really knew and talked about. We just treated CF with IVs and inhaled antibiotics and enzymes. But now we're so specific where we know what each of our proteins does and how it doesn't work. So that's where Kalydeco really comes into play. And I start reading up on this stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is like not a cure for CF, but it's actually treating CF at the cell and not just my symptoms, right? So my symptoms of, I think the next slide, my symptoms of coughing kind of went away for a while. And at one point, I'm like, let's just take the port out of my arm. I told my doctor, I'm like, I don't need this port, take it out. Okay, don't ever say that because I've needed it a few times since. So I got a little cocky. Don't do that. The biggest and funniest thing was, you know how we have that like salty sweat, like really salty sweat? So when I would go out and bike on like 90-degree days, go out and do like 50, 60 miles, my black bike shorts would be gray because all the sweat from my arms and legs would turn them gray. So I'm like, okay, if this stuff's really affecting CF at the root cause, it should be affecting my sodium chloride levels because when you go in for this study, they do a sweat test every time, right? And I never saw the results, so I'm like, I'm gonna do my own little test and see what the results show. So I was at a gym working out, and this is always like how a good story starts. One day at band camp, no. I was at a gym working out on the elliptical, and this place was like mirrored all around, right? There's about 20 or 30 people working out. And I'm like, I gotta see if this stuff is really working. So I'm working out, blah, 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 and I lick my arm, and then I look around, I'm like, nobody saw that, okay. So then I like sweat some more, and I lick my arm again, and it's not salty. And I'm like, okay, this stuff is really working. Not only is my cough like disappeared, I feel great. I've never felt like this in my entire life. My sweat is like not salty anymore. So I hopped off, and I'm texting people, I'm like, this stuff really works. This stuff really works. This is legit. It's treating CF at the root cause. And come to find out, after talking to like Bob Bell and all the guys at the foundation, when they got the research back, the biggest thing, or the one thing that really made these guys like cry and realize that this stuff works was sure, like weight went up like per patient on average by 6 pounds. Pulmonary function climbed, hospitalizations were reduced. The biggest thing that really got them was sweat chloride levels in CF patients went to at or below a CF diagnosis. So that's stuff you don't really hear about with Kalydeco. You just hear like people are good and they're not as sick. But think about like a pill. It's definitely more powerful than zinc. Really treats CF at the root cause. And I today feel better than I've ever felt in my entire life, which is crazy because if 5 years ago, 6 years ago, somebody was like, I've got a little blue pill, maybe would have been a little bit intrigued since it was a little blue pill. But, well, I mean, Google that too. No, don't Google that. Don't video that. Kids. I would be like, you guys, okay, cool, cute, it's a pill. Because in my mind, the only drugs for CF that were effective were the drugs that I know enzymes work, because if you don't take them, you know you should have taken your enzymes, right? And I know Pulmozyme works because it works, and Toby works, and Caistin works, and these drugs that treat the symptoms dead on, those drugs work. But a pill, what's that gonna do, right? Oh no, this stuff is crazy awesome, and it's changed my life completely. I still have had some exacerbations since, and it's usually caused by allergies or season change or whatever. And my weight has been good, and I'm not as salty anymore, and I just feel better than I've ever felt my entire life. And I can't believe it. If somebody would have said, a pill is gonna make you feel this good, I would have laughed at them, because there's no way, right? And I'm anxious. This is the Model T, right? I'm from Detroit, so we know cars. The first car was like a steam engine or whatever, but the first automobile was the Model T, right? And now we have Teslas, and we've got the new Volkswagen Golf Alltrack coming out next year. Scoping that. But we've seen this giant progression in cars, right? This drug is the Model T of drugs that treat CF at the root cause. So you guys, while discouraged that your kids may not be able to take Kalydeco or Orkambi, this is just the first drug of its kind. So you should be so excited about where we're going, because it's going to get awesome. And then like very soon, things are awesome. And there's a little science chat at the end, I think, so I'm very excited about that. Running and riding is so much easier. I can go bus like 10 miles and barely cough, whereas before I would leave a trail of, I couldn't get lost, because pre-Kalydeco I would cough and spit and cough and spit and cough and spit, and then I would just turn around and follow the trail home. Now it's like I go out and run and I'm feeling great. I can run faster, so my training program for New York, I've got a coach who's, she's an Olympic trials athlete this year. She tried to get into the Olympics for marathon. She has me doing speed work, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have to now because I'm on Kalydeco and I feel good. I can't dog it. Like, I have to push myself to do the most that I can, because not everyone, you know, there's 5 to 8% of people qualify for Kalydeco, and those people are doing pretty good as a whole, I guess. So I'm like, I have to take full advantage of this because my friends aren't as fortunate, so I got to push myself to really live it up. And living up, I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, that's pulmonary function. It's cool. It peaked at like 93, high 80s. Now I'm sitting at 82, but that's just a number, right? Numbers are just numbers. So we just continue on with my life right now because of Kalydeco. And I think I set myself up for Kalydeco at its best because of exercise and my lifestyle change before Kalydeco. I put myself in a great position to really benefit the most from this drug. And that's because of diet and exercise. So now, I bought my first house in December, which is great, until 2 months later, a water pipe burst in my kitchen, and I was been without a kitchen for 9 weeks. Yeah, they like ripped everything out. But just last week, they put the cabinets in. My mom is actually at home right now painting my kitchen. I know, they put new drywall in, and she's painting it. I keep getting pictures. This is great. I get home tonight, and hopefully, she better be done. Let's just say that. So that's awesome. Anything but the kitchen you can have back. That's my puppy. I got her in January. So it's my first dog. That's my own. You can follow her on Instagram if you'd like. She's getting her first second haircut right now. My mom's taking her there too. So I printed out pictures of this, not this, no poodle cut, and a bandana, and not bows. So if I get home and there's any of those things, we're having trouble. But that's like my first puppy. Then my nieces. What's cuter than kids with dogs? Not much. So these are my nieces who are going to take over for Rock CF when I retire. Casey's on the left. She's a brain and just sweetest thing. And the little one on the right is crazy. She's insane, but I love it. She's crazy. We have a great time. And then there's a third one coming in November. I think due on the day of the New York Marathon. So my parents are, they're going to buy the ticket to New York, but not sure if they're going to be able to. What do you got, baby or me? I think New York Marathon wins. What do you think? Can I get a vote? Can I get a vote? Yep. Because there might only be one New York Marathon, and this is the third kid, okay? It's that easy. So this is the second part of that video. I don't know. I wouldn't be here today without running. That's why I keep running. So now I have to not only run for CF, I have to run for my future and my future health, which nobody ever thought we would need to do. I love trail running. It's just nice to be around nature and not having to fight with cars. So it clears my mind. You know, it's that one time where I can be like everyone else. I meet a group to run, they don't know I have CF. I can't put a number on how many people that we've kind of helped start running, but it's a growing number, and it's going in the right direction. That's the worst part about CF, is getting to know these people and then they don't make it, right? So cystic fibrosis, it's something that you're born with. It causes your body to produce this really thick and sticky mucus. So right now the current median age of survival is 40 years old. It makes me work harder in my own life. 2007, I established the RockCF Foundation as a nonprofit. My whole thing is awareness and positivity, and if I can do something I love and change people's lives, I'm in. The RockCF Bubbles and Bow Ties is an awesome new event that we started to create a bunch of awareness about CF, bring people together. That's the coolest part, is I get to connect with these people, and they actually trust me. And they're like, let's ask Emily. Okay. All of us are doing so well. Exercise is really good for us. And I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. My lung function's 88%, which is the highest it's ever been in my life. So now there's a lot of research and studies going on to see if we can track down an appropriate way to prescribe exercise as medicine. Yeah, running is kind of who I am right now. It's a big part of my life, and it's a big part of my health and my future, keeping me alive. I run to live.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah, so here it is. I started unofficially in 2004. When I turned 21, we had this rock and roll concert, and I know you guys are planning a rock show out here this summer, right? Down in Portland? Yeah, cool.
Here, Augusta.
Oh, it's in Augusta. Sweet, maybe I'll come back. No way. Oh, I want to be there. CF Stock, 2016. What month?
July 10th. It's a Sunday.
July 10th, if you're watching. CF Stock, that's awesome. All right, so we got to mud up the grass, right, and just go crazy. Okay, so my brother was in a band at the time, and I'm like, I want to do something a little different. We still went to Great Strides, and we still did all these other events with the CF Foundation, but I want to do something different and bring these people together for a rock show, right? Because I felt like the 18 to 35-year-old crowd was kind of being left out of the CF picture unless you had a kid with CF or a sister or brother with CF or a cousin. So we brought these people to the show, we sold out the show, and we were able to educate them about CF. And then we kept doing it, and then I started playing in a band, and then this concert kind of snowballed into an annual thing, which was fun. Then I officially founded RockCF in 2007. At this time, I was still social securing it, and working RockCF and working retail just to pay some bills. And then luckily about 2.5, 3 years ago, RockCF became my full-time gig. So now I'm able to travel around and speak to awesome people like you, and be online and sell this merchandise that's all over the world, which is the coolest thing, to see somebody in Sydney, Australia, come through with 10 shirts that they want to buy. It's what? You're in Australia. What's going on? This isn't that cool, but they love it, and it just makes my life. We do another event, a golf event. The biggest event is the RockCF Half Marathon, where again, we wanted to start an event that would bring people together who don't have CF, although include people with CF, but if they don't have CF, get them together and then get them behind the cause. So now in our 6th year, we've got 2,500 runners, and from all like 20 some states that come in to run our race all over Canada. And we raise $110,000 for Rock CF so we can fulfill our mission and also donate research money to the CF Foundation for research, and then work with groups like Ronnie to fund this research about exercise. So we're busy. I've got one guy who works for me. He's actually the kid I used to babysit. He and his brothers, I used to change his diapers, but now he's changing mine. No. It might come to that one day. Hopefully my nieces take over before that. But it's awesome, and I'm able to do what I love, and I never honestly dreamed that I could do it, right? I always kind of wanted to be a social worker type person, but now this is even cooler because I don't have anybody telling me what to do. I'm doing my own thing and meeting awesome families and parents and patients and care teams, and it's so cool. So one of our programs, which I think is next, is called Kicks Back, and I don't know if any of you guys have been a part of it yet, so my big thing is I want to inspire others with CF to exercise. And we do this program, I target it towards adolescents, teens, and young adults because I was that young adult who thought I was too sick to exercise and didn't want to exercise because it was hard, right? So this program is 2 things. It A, gives running shoes to people with CF to inspire them to run or walk or join a gym, and then we'll sign them up for a race of their choice. The other side is you may be a runner, like a guy in my area, he runs half marathons and marathons, and he finishes like 5th out of 2,500 at my race, and he has CF. He just can't afford these new shoes every 3 months, so we supply him with shoes just to keep him going, right? So the next slide shows pictures of 2 of our recipients. The kid who's just awesome, and he's a runner, I think, in middle school. And then on the right here, she's wanting to get into exercise. So we've given, last year we gave away 100 pair of shoes. This year we're already up to like 80, and it's only the end of April. So it's growing, and it's for CF patients. And we're trying to work on something where we can work parents into the mix too, because I always get questions from parents. How can I get my kid to exercise? And I think kids learn everything from the parents, I think, right? And teachers. But parents set the example and they set the bar. So if I can get like something worked out with parents where we get them in the mix too, or caregivers, that would be awesome. But right now we just want to get patients moving, or people with CF, and it doesn't have to be running. Just find something they love to do and get them exercising and get them going. And this program so far has been great. We've shipped shoes, I think, almost to all 50 states, and we just want to give away shoes. So I can email someone from the care center an application to give to you guys, or you can get it on the Rock CF site, or email me, or just get it, because I want to help you guys out. Got to get these kids moving. So this is kind of where I leave the end of this conversation until you guys start asking me questions, because I brought giveaways. If you ask me a question, you get a free thing. Bribery, it always works. So like I said, when I was diagnosed, you guys know my story. It was median age of survival was not amazing. But in Denver, I didn't hear anyone say this, but in Knoxville or somewhere, Baltimore, 3 people before I spoke said the median, 50% of people with CF are over the age of 18.